Hey there, creepy peeps, and welcome back to another creepy book club. Today we're going to be talking about Horror Show by Greg Kihn. Alright, so I've mentioned this many a book review now. This is the April pick for our creepy book club, which is an actual group on Goodreads. If you want to join, we read a book each month. So like I said, this is our April pick, and I'll talk about our May pick at the end of the video, but for right now we're going to talk about Horror Show. Like I've been doing, I'm just going to read the summary from the back. Hollywood, 1996. When Monster magazine reporter Clint Stockburn sets out to interview the legendary 50s horror movie director Landis Woodley, he uncovers a bizarre story of real-life horror. Flashback to Hollywood, 1957. Woodley is shooting his latest zombie movie, Cadaver, in a real morgue when he has a brainstorm that will help him pinch some pennies. But when zombie makeup effects are replaced by real corpses, a deadly curse begins to take its toll on those foolish enough to become involved with the filming of the soon-to-be cult classic, Cadaver. Alright, and just like all book reviews, I'm going to spoil the ending. It takes me too long to read to not talk about the ending, so. And if I keep doing this in the review, I'm sorry. This is an older book, and it has that wonderful old book smell, so I find I keep doing this to get that smell. So I loved the way the plot unfolded, because we basically got two storylines in the book. So like I mentioned, there is this storyline of Landis Woodley, the director, and he is trying to make his latest movie, Cadaver. And then we have this other storyline with this Satanist, or this, I wouldn't say Satanist, he actually worships Satan, Albert Beaumont, who comes into possession of these tuning forks that are able to summon this serpent demon thing. And you wonder in the beginning how these two plots are going to come together eventually, but it does come together in a nice way, and it ends up kind of being the explanation as to why the movie becomes cursed. Because you think at first it's just going to be about this story about how they came to use real life corpses in this movie and things like that, in the aftermath of that. You don't ever really get the aftermath except in like the present day. So it's framed by like present day scenes in 1996 when this person goes to interview Landis, and then it goes to flashback and you understand that he's telling the story. There's a lot, because we have kind of like two stories and a lot of characters, which I'll get to in a little bit. It helps to build the tension, because like especially during certain scenes of action, like Kihn's going back and forth between, I hope I'm saying his last name right too, I'm sorry if I'm not, going back and forth between two different people or multiple characters. So it's like a scene never just plays out. It's like you keep getting like stopped and have to go back to it. And normally that would be annoying, but it worked really well to like build the tension, I felt like. However, I did not like the whole cursed movie thing, only because it says it on the back, but they really don't ever mention the curse until the very end of the book. So when Clint goes to interview Landis in the first place, it's because he's a legendary 50s director, and there was that whole controversy with him potentially using real corpses in the movie Cadaver. So he goes to get like the real story to see if that's really what happened, and there's no mention of a curse. And we go through this whole story, and then we get to the end of the book and we're back in present day. And then all of a sudden, Clint's boss, Roberta, brings up the fact that everybody involved with the movie is now dead, either from strangulation or they killed themselves, and Landis is the last one. And then Landis has this like weird experience with his friend Buzzy's ghost. Buzzy died like the year before he was the makeup effects artist on the movie. And he comes and explains the curse to Landis, which is just odd. Like, and it's just thrown in there at the end, like, by the way, this movie is cursed and everybody has died and now you're next, Landis. And that's pretty much literally how that scene goes. Like, I wish they could have just just given you a hint of it at the beginning. Just a little hint, just throw in the word curse or something, or maybe Clint could have a thought like, Landis is the only one left he can interview about the movie because everyone else is dead, and you're kind of like, oh, that's weird, and then it comes back at the end. Like something like that, just a little bit, a little something. So back to what I said about all the characters. There's a lot of them, and they all kind of get their time to shine, more or less, where, you know, maybe even if it's just for like a page, it's like from their point of view and you're getting a little bit of their backstory and their inner dialogue. I thought it was a little much, because in the end, it didn't necessarily take away from the story, but it also didn't add to the story, if that makes sense. There is a vague theme of like outcasts in the book. So Landis is definitely this, like, he's not like really well respected. He's known for being a cheapskate and getting his movies done in the cheapest way possible and as quickly as possible and just throwing it together just for thrills. He's a B horror movie director, so he's not here to have this like deeper meaning and this symbolism in his movies. He's just there to scare audiences and make money. And all of the people he employs are kind of outcasts as well. His cameraman is part of the Hollywood blacklist. His script writer is a straight man. They make it known in the book that he is straight, but he likes to cross-dress. And if you're maybe not comfortable with certain type of language, they do. It was a different time. This book was written in 1996, and when these parts are taking place, it's supposed to be in the 50s. So there's definitely a lot of like misunderstanding of his character and a lot of derogatory terms used to describe his character and in a lot of the dialogue from other characters. I guess it was a different time, and that's all I can say, but I thought maybe with all these kind of like outcast type characters, it would kind of amount to something, but it doesn't ever really. It's more just like a tool when it comes time to use the real corpses in the movie. Like Landis kind of hangs that over everybody's head, like nobody else will hire you, so you have to do this with me and make sure you don't tell anybody. Horror fans will like this book though, because the characters, not all of them, but a lot of them are modeled after actual people. That's just me interpreting it. I've not seen I've not seen any confirmation of this, that the author actually modeled certain characters after other people, but Landis Woodley definitely gave me Ed Wood vibes, like making those movies that are just bad and cheaply made, but people still kind of love them for what they are. One of the veteran actors that Landis often employs is Jonathan Luboff, who is very clearly, like when you read about his character, the more like you get about his character, he has to be modeled after Bela Lugosi. There's no doubt about that. And then there is another character, a late night horror movie host, Davila, who seems like she's definitely modeled after Vampira. I just don't know how you say any of their names. Overall, though, this book is about a B horror movie director who makes movies just for shocks and thrills. And I feel like that's what this book is. There's no real deeper meaning. There's no complicated metaphors and symbolism, but that's the point, kind of. I feel like it's not meant to be like dissected and interpreted in many different ways. It's just like a shock value book. It's just there to give you thrills and chills, and that's it. So overall, I'm middle of the road on this one. I'm 2.5 out of 5. It does say 2 out of 5 on my Goodreads, but that's because I can't figure out, can you do half scores on Goodreads? I don't think you can, and that kind of makes me upset. But I mean, it's really a 2.5 out of 5 for me. It's just middle of the road. It was okay. On Goodreads, it has a 3.67 out of 5. On BarnesandNoble.com, it has a solid 4 out of 5. And on Amazon, it's got a 4.4 out of 5 though, so take that as you will. Like I said, you can join our book club over on Goodreads. The link is in the description. Also, if you want to know what our main book is, you can see it on our Goodreads page, but I have it right here. It is Burnt Offerings by Robert Marasco, which I actually have reviewed the movie already. I'll link it up here somewhere. This is a rare moment where I'm reading a book after I've seen the movie already, but yeah, that's what we're going to be reading next. So if you want to grab it and join us, it's not that long of a book. It's just over 200 pages, so should be a quick read. So if you've already read Horror Show, let me know in the comment section down below what you thought about it, or if you've read Burnt Offerings already, let me know, I guess without spoiling anything, if there's something that wasn't in the movie that's spoilerable. And I do hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new here and become a Creepy Peep today. I post videos Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You can ring that notification bell down there to be notified every time I post a video. Well, maybe you'll be notified, I don't know. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, stay strange. Bye.
This video is brought to you by all these lovely creepy patron peeps that you see listed on the left-hand side of the screen. If you want to find out the perks to being a creepy patron peep, you can follow that link that is in the description of this video. No pressure, but it's there if you want to check it out. Thanks for watching. Bye!